Whoa, whoa, whoa. If I can make a living from walking in the woods, you can bet I'll be sitting pretty good high on a hill, looking at a field downwind. If I can make a nickel off of turning in bass, never worry about the price of gas. I'll be wheeling and dealing and sitting there reeling them in. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's the proud out of country boy praise. Thank God he made me this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting red dirt rich and Flint River paid. But fishing and loving every day. I'd get a little farm pond buzz, the sound of gravel when I'm backing up, pulling a string on a 9.92 stroke Mercury. I love it when my baby wants to roll with me, throws her boots on, climbs in a tree, tucking her hair in my hat and she's ready to go. And we get to hunting, fishing, loving every day. That's the brand out of country boy praise. Thank God he made it this way. Hunting and fishing and loving every day. Early in the morning, late in the evening, I'm getting ready to rich and Flint River paid. Hunting and fishing and loving every day, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? God damn it, folks. What's going on? Can I get a yee-haw up in here?
Breathing in that old.
Can I get a yee-yee up in here, folks?
Knee deep in the muck of leaf.
I love hunting and I love fishing. My name's Hank Pecker, folks. And this is the Hank Pecker Robbie broadcast. I'm coming to you live
every day.
from Austin, Texas. That's right. Perhaps the worst part of Texas. The gayest part of Texas, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one, no matter where you are in the world, folks. Gosh darn liberal city of Austin, Texas. Fake ass, not a real Texas city ass, Austin, Texas, folks. Oh, my door. Hold on a moment now.
Come on, won't you come along with me? Won't you come along with me? I know you want to see a hunting, a fishing, and loving every day, yeah.
Sorry, the gosh darn liberals got me. They called me. They gave me a call. The motherfucking hotel I'm staying at. I'm Hank Pecker, and this is the Hank Pecker Robbie broadcast coming to you live from Austin, Texas. Yee. Where the goddamn Patriots are still alive and well. That's right, folks. I'm live. I'm alive, just like the gosh darn Patriots are, folks. This is part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news, about what's going on in my life, what's going on in the universe of Hank Pecker Robbie Pecker. That's right. Are you going on Joe Rogan? No. Why would you guys ever think that? No, I'm here to sort out the border. That's right. For far too long, Americans have been, for far too long, the Brandon regime, the Brandon administration has absolutely destroyed America's boundaries and freedom. Hold on, my door's knocking on the door. I got coffee because I need it desperately. God damn it, dude. This fucking place is called Revolucion, okay? And let me tell you something, okay? Lame. Doesn't have a freaking Governor Greg Abbott. It's time to nuke Austin, Texas, okay? Let me tell you why. When I call for a gosh darn coffee, I want my freaking coffee to have a straw with it. This doesn't even have paper straw. This is no straw. Damn good coffee, though. Anyway, how's my neck, dude? Yeah, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news, about what's going on in the world of Hassan Abbott Piker, for all the parasocialists out there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in Austin, Texas. That's right. For those of you who were asking why, well, that's because it's been a long time coming. I made promises to Maya Higa, about being on Alveus. For those who don't know, that's her conservation. And I realized, like, there's a couple people down here right now. Pretty good time to just come down, knock out a couple collabos, right? Haven't done that in a long time. Y'all work out with Pete Jars? I should hit her up to see if she's down to lift. But oh god, more door stuff. Hold on. When it rains, it pours, folks. I ordered coffee. I ordered cold brew from a store, and I didn't want to get it from Starbucks because whatever. But nice on the fly setup you got there. Just tweak the white balance to a warmer setting in your Golden Brother. Yeah, I know. We already did that. We couldn't. Peach is down. She said yesterday she wants to do a workout stream with you. I know. So here's what happened. Okay. It was a split second decision out of nowhere. Decided I'm gonna go to Texas. And then we hooked it up. Will hooked it up for the most part. I gave Kaya to Murat. Okay. Abi altıdan hep böyle miydi yoksa botoks mu yaptın? No. This Turkish guy asked if my lower lip was always like this or if I got Botox. If I got Botox, why would I Botox my lower lip, dude? No, I've always had a fat lower lip. Problem is the upper lip is not very fat. That's my issue. So anyway, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing out here while I'm out here. We're gonna do cosplay with Emiru, IRL streams, okay, with Will and maybe Seer. Going to the new Canute gym, which I will be going to later today as well. Okay, so got to do a little bit more variety, a little bit more diversity in the content. RDC World, didn't even think about that. Are they in Austin? I'm gonna text Mark right now. Let's see. I'm gonna text his ass right now, dude. Anyway, sounds like you're already booked, lol. Yeah, I am pretty booked. SeaWorld is fucked up. Please don't support them. What? No, RDC World, not SeaWorld, okay?
Hassan is coming to Alveus tomorrow, unbeknownst to me until yesterday evening.
True.
Okay, Hassan is coming to Alveus tomorrow for the first time, and I'm sorry that I haven't given you more notice, but I didn't have any either. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, Hassan.
This is like not even a joke. This is 100% correct. It's like such a last second thing. Hot Ones with NMP Law. NMP's not here. Happy birthday to Nick. He's not here right now. So I didn't plan anything. I didn't advertise anything. I literally just texted everyone. I basically just texted every single person and I was like, yo, I'm coming to Austin. I'm going to be there. Get ready, stand back, stand by. And then the reality is I didn't even tell Maya personally that I was going to be in Austin. I just kind of forgot. I literally did not even tell her. Like, I did not inform her that I was going to be in Austin, which is kind of messed up. I know. She found out on Twitter from my update account. And then I texted her. Go on the Steak and Eggs podcast with Emmer and Asman. I don't know if I have time for that, but do you like going to Texas or more like an op to crave with some people with the Austin area? I personally do not like Texas. I will admit, I don't like Texas at all. It's not my favorite. It's not even like close to my top 10. I'm sorry. I find it to be rather boring, rather dull. No disrespect. I think it's kind of mid. Okay. I do, however, recognize that most of the streamers live here. A lot of streamers live here. So I, that's why I'm here. I'm here for two reasons. One, because as a goddamn patriot, I wanted to come and show support to Texas defending its own border. Okay? As a patriot, I wanted to come and defend the border of Texas, but specifically just Austin, Texas. Okay? Number two, a lot of streamers are here. A lot of content creators are here. Some from here. Some just moved here for low taxes. Oh my God. Mark just told me he's in Los Angeles. So I can't even collab with the RDC World Boys because they're not even in motherfucking. Oh my God. Dude, that's insane. I don't know how this happens all the time. This happens with Nico Omalana too. Anytime I go to the UK, I'm like, bro, I'm in London. Let's link. And he'll be like, oh, actually, I'm literally on a flight to Los Angeles right now. And that's entirely my fault because I never coordinate with people. But what are the odds? What are the odds that like you have dudes that live in Austin just being in LA while I'm in Austin? It happened with Connor too. Yeah, when I went to Japan, Connor came to Los Angeles while I was in Japan. Anyway, but yeah, part of the reason I'm gonna link up with Canute. Yes, part of the reason why I'm here is because the new gym opened up, Iron Forge. Okay, Iron Forge just opened up. I wanted to check it out. I'm a big fan of working out, as you guys know. It's owned by Canute and Miskiff. This is so bad. What the fuck? But yeah, it's so I'm gonna be checking the gym out anyway. And then also the Alveus collab, and just like collaborating with a bunch of content creators that live out here that I never get to see or never get to really hang out with. And also gonna be hanging out with Will, obviously, as well, who's out here too. So did you bring your mic? I did. One cool fun little thing. I'm testing out my new kit, which is not necessarily a new kit. Are you drinking soda? No, this is coffee. It's not really a new kit. It's like I'm constantly upgrading this thing. Not to get super nerdy, but I shaved a lot of the fat off of this. Okay, I shaved a lot of the fat off the kit. I think you guys will recognize that the audio sounds almost perfect, right? Okay, I have the SM7B, as you guys can tell. I bought a Streamer X Rodecaster, Streamer X, which is a very new Rode product that basically has a capture card in it and also an audio, it's obviously the Rodecaster audio thing that it has its own like inner mini amp in it as well. So the goal has always been to basically turn my like away from home streaming setup into one that is damn near identical. Camera, obviously, courtesy of March. If he didn't have the camera quality would be a little bit worse, actually much worse, let's be real. Currently using like a regular Sony camera here, but as far as the audio goes, I am currently using a Rodecaster Streamer X, which is like this big, basically like the size of my hand, and it has a built-in capture card, it has a built-in mini amp, and you can use it. It's not an ad, by the way. These guys don't fucking pay me at all, even though they should, because I do mess around with the tech quite a bit. Become a bit of a techie in my life, I guess, in my old age. But yeah, it's actually really portable and really good overall. That's why there's an impeccable noise gate. Can you fix the white balance / temp of the camera? It's too cold. No, I can't, because it's not my camera, so I don't want to touch it, and I think it's fine. And it was really blown out and really saturated earlier. That's why it's really cold now. Is it this thing? Let's see. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's what I'm using. It's a Streamer X. This is, yeah. So I got this thing. I got this thing because it's like much smaller instead of a Go XLR. Okay, which is great. At home, I use the Rodecaster Pro 2. You should switch to this camera back home too. This looks better. Yeah, well, I spent a lot of money early on alongside, I put a lot of money into the cameras that I have at home. So I just like, feel weird throwing out. How many monitors? So 2. Another thing that I did, by the way, was I took the, instead, Murat had gotten me like these 2 big ass monitors, right? They were standalone monitors, but they were really big. They were like, I think they were like 24 inches or something. I wanted to make it smaller. My goal was, how can I fit a setup into a carry-on? I bought a Pelican case, another Pelican case, much smaller one. It's carry-on size Pelican case. Okay, here, I'll show you. So I've reduced the size dramatically so it could be a carry-on because the other Pelican case was far too big. And in that case, I reduced the size of everything else. I made the computer. I'm now using an extension, like a USB-C extension monitor for the laptop, which has been pretty good. It's the same size, it's the same resolution. It's super portable, super easy to carry. And what else am I using here? I mean, I'm still using Murat's arm that he got, the Ulanzi mic arm, which is like pretty portable as well. And obviously the SM7B and a Logitech light bar. Since you're in Texas, are you gonna go on Lex Fridman? Probably not. But the Sennheiser MKH416 would be a good portable mic too. Is that if it's not a USB mic, which I don't think that is, because the goal is I want to use a what is this mic called? Not a SDI, an XLR. I want to use an XLR microphone. I don't want a USB microphone, and I like this microphone. So the Shure SM7B is fine as long as you have like a mini amp, which the Streamer X has a built-in mini amp, so I don't even need it. I don't need like a cloud amplifier or anything like that, and the audio is pretty crisp, as you guys have noticed. So why were you able to bring Kaya? I was not able to bring Kaya. So what I did was I left Kaya with, not with Ray. Ray's not here either. Ray's not in Los Angeles right now. She's on a work trip. I left Kaya with my brother, and apparently she has been fucking up the whole house. That's what he's been telling me. Apparently she has gutted every single toy, and she's harassing and bullying Fiona quite a bit. So will you be live streaming the border? He's in Austin. Closest border is like a 5-hour drive. Yeah, brother. I feel like I'm closer to the border when I live in California, in Los Angeles, than I am in Austin. Okay. But no, I'm not. That's a joke for the most part. I don't think I'll be going to the border, even though it'd be cool. But yeah, I was really, not to get too like nerdy and become too much of a geek here, but I was really excited about this setup, and I was really excited to test it out too. Luckily the hotel I'm staying at has like really good internet, really good stable speeds up and down, so that's not really an issue. The laptop I'm using is a Lenovo Legion. It's like the most absolute slammed laptop. It's got like a laptop 4090 in it, which is like a fake 4090, but still. Yes, Alina Hoppa would approve of my gaming laptop. You don't even game, LOL? So you should catch a Wemby game while you're here in Texas. Probably not. So Austin is one of the first cities that got Google Fiber. Only thing we have that got going for them is SIG Internet. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here to fight Greg Abbott. I'm here to raise Greg Abbott. But yeah, no, I came to Austin to do some collabos, some collaborinos, but also obviously I'll still be covering the news while I'm out here, and I wanted to also test out my freaking setup, my freaking desktop, my portable desktop setup. I didn't even bring my IRL backpack here because like Will and Seer are using Nick's IRL backpack, which is like super slammed anyway. It's you know, maxed out. So using the new portable here to collab and also protect the borders, to protect the border in parentheses of Austin. Get in now. So as I was saying, yeah, I'm here to do some collabs and things of that nature, and you know, make some more variety, more diverse content, do some IRLs. And you know, I obviously had some obligations that I must fulfill here, like Alveus and things like that. I'm not going on Rogan. I'm not going on Lex Fridman. There's no wordless time. I will be live from Alveus alongside Maya Higa. That's right. So I'll tell you what the lineup is right now. I have to shoot some stuff today, so I will be live for a couple hours. I'll be live from now to like around 4 p.m. our time here, which would mean, I guess, 2 p.m. LA time. Okay. And then I have to go do a shoot. I'm gonna go do some stuff. So after that, I'll probably go visit the gym for the first time. I will not be streaming that. I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to stream that, unfortunately, for you guys, the first day at least. But tomorrow at 12 p.m., I will be live at Alveus. Okay, 12 p.m. Los Angeles time, 12 p.m. PST, 2 p.m. Texas time. Actually, I don't know. I might even go a little bit earlier than that. Let me text her and let me see. No, why does this look better than the actual setup? You guys always say that. What are you doing about the border crisis while you're down there? I'm gonna go and cut some of the concertina wire. The way chat is compositing on top of the background is giving me the ick. Okay, well, suck it. Anyway, I think people say you look better because you look really white, probably. Wait, let me see. I'm talking to Maya. 1 p.m. is fine. Okay, maybe I'll do it even earlier. Are you replacing Cutie on Wine About It? Yeah. So, drive up to Oklahoma City so you can meet my cats Martin and Arch. No thanks. Alveus will be on my stream, I believe. Okay. I think that's the way it works. I don't know. I mean, I would do it on her stream if she wants to do it on her stream. But regardless, I will be live on my stream, 1 p.m. Texas time, or 2 p.m. Texas time. I'll give you guys a full-blown defined time frame. But tomorrow we have the Alveus stream. Okay. Tomorrow we have the Alveus stream, and then after that I'll probably be on Miz's stream on his doing the gym stuff with him as well after that. And then on Saturday, Will and I are going to be on Emaru's stream, where Emaru is going to doll us up. Hopefully, if everything works out, Will and I are going to go on Emaru's stream. She's going to cosplay the shit out of us. And then after that cosplay, we're going to go to an arcade. So I'll be going to my stream to do an IRL at an arcade. Not sure where or how, but that's the plan. And then nothing for Sunday so far. Anyway, so blast off. Let's get this popping. Let the people know. When are you moving to Texas? Probably never. Here's the thing. I don't think people understand this. Okay? I don't think people understand this. But I fucking love Los Angeles. That is the reason why I went and purchased a house in the middle of Los Angeles. I'm a creature comfort. Is that what it is? I'm a creature of comfort. If I like something, I stick to it. Okay? What does this mean? Well, what this means is a creature of habit. What this means is I like the area that I live in. I'm going to fucking stay there. Okay? Even if the house that I've purchased is incredibly expensive and would be like $500,000 in any other normal real estate market that isn't, smack dab in the middle of Los Angeles. So if I'm willing to take a 30-year fixed mortgage with a fat down payment on a fucking $2.7 million home just so I don't leave the area that I feel most comfortable in, you bet your ass I'm not moving to Texas. It don't even matter because it's like I'm not going to leave. It's not like I leave my house anyway, so it doesn't really matter where I live, but I still do prefer it. I still do prefer living in Los Angeles. So yeah, 1,200 square feet in Compton is still $700K. People don't understand that. What? 30 years? You couldn't pay it all cash? No, I don't have $2.7 million in cash. And also, that's ridiculous. When I bought my house, interest rates were still much lower than they are now. So I love that people think that I'm a drug dealer or something and just like will go and put down 2.7 on a fucking table with a bag and just go, all right, let's do it. Let's buy the damn thing. Anyway, woke up super early this morning, got on a flight, flew out to Texas. Also March found out at like midnight that I was even going to Texas and was like, why didn't you tell me you're going to Texas? I was like, I don't know, because it's just like there's not really much for you to do out here. I don't want to like get you to come out and work. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? I love that. He's like, I'm coming. So he went and he bought the same fucking plane ticket literally 3 to 4 hours before the flight and just flew with me. And then we're staying in the same hotel right now, and it was really fortunate because now I can use this camera, which is what I'm doing currently, so it worked out well. But yes, Alveus stream tomorrow, and then I'll Probably be on Miz's stream afterwards. Okay. Who's March? March is my producer for Fear and, the greatest podcast in the world, the greatest podcast in America, but also the world. How to get a private jet ticket so fast? That's right. We flew in with a private jet, of course. But yeah. Are you lifting at Iron Force today? Yes, I will be lifting at Iron Force today. Haters been real quiet after finding out your producer actually likes his job. No, haters are never quiet. The new thing, the new meta is like back to Hassan is socialist, but he's a rich guy with a fucking fat house. That's the new meta. Like everybody's like finding that, everybody keeps reposting that like old ass photo from like 10 years ago and being like, remember when he wore this, you know, make the rich pay shirt? Yeah. Can't believe he's rich and he has a house. It's like, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's true. I mean, I'm fucking the truth. I don't know what to do. Oh, thank God. This is good. This is some interesting news, but interesting development. Taylor Swift is said to be considering legal action against the deepfake website that generated explicit AI images of her, which circulated online. Daily Mail reports. Good. Anyway, the thing that annoys me most about it is that these people clearly have no conception of what socialism is. Yes, we've had these conversations over and over again. It's so funny. It's just like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about the house meta? Who fucking cares? These guys are so stupid. Like, I make like, you know, 10-year doctor or like, you know, law firm partner money, okay? Which is a lot. For the average Joe, it's a lot. But these motherfuckers think I'm Jeff Bezos because they're so stupid, okay? That's it. Is they're stupid. Wholly out of nowhere. No, it's just, it's incredibly silly. It's incredibly dumb. Who gives a shit? Fuck those guys. What is this? An Israeli ex-soldier infiltrated Gaza alone and unarmed to fight Hamas single-handedly. He walked 500 meters unimpeded, and then the Israeli drone bombed him into pieces, and he changed his mind and walked back. His family, why kill an unarmed man? Where are the open fire regulations? Yeah. They don't have the same kind of animosity for any other famous person they watch on or fawn over on a regular basis, actors, comedians. Yes, because they think I'm like making money off of being like a revolutionary or something. Yeah, they're just mad that my money's long, okay? I'm flexing on my haters. You already know what it is, baby. Okay. So, you'd be richer if you were spouting right-wing shit. They're so dumb. I know. One day, boys. One day. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm in Texas, baby. To fucking start being a real American, okay? It probably hurts their brain even more than they tell how much money. No, it's just like, bro, you don't own capital. Why are you defending capitalism? Why are you mad? Why are you mad that who cares? Okay, I'm a capitalist. You got me. Okay, so what changed? Absolutely zero things changed about the things that I'm arguing for. Like, how about you worry about your own capital? Get your money up, not your funny up. Big dog. Where's the deed to the factory? You ain't got the factory deed. Why are you defending capital? You got no capital. Here you are, capitalists. Okay? You want to act like you're a capitalist, but you are capitalists, okay? Is it hard to start an independent personal training business? I don't know. Why are you asking me? But yes, independent personal training business probably would be quite hard to make. All right. So, beyond that, what was I going to say? Oh, God, I have a headache. I didn't sleep well yesterday at all. Is business unethical? It can be.
Big announcement. Hassan is coming to Alveus tomorrow. Unbeknownst to me until yesterday evening. Okay? Hassan is coming to Alveus tomorrow for the first time. And I'm sorry that I haven't given you more notice, but I didn't have any either. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, Hassan tweeted on his alt Twitter, he was like, gonna be in Texas this weekend, promised an Alveus stream last year, so gotta do that. I replied, because I was scrolling and I saw that. I replied to his alt Twitter, I was like, are you being for real right now? Am I finding out about this here? And then he texted me after I replied to his alt Twitter, and he was like, is that cool? I was like, okay. So he's coming to Alveus tomorrow at 2 p.m. for a collab. Big announcement. Hassan is coming to Alveus.
That's the greatest communication I've done, though. I'm getting better. Because, like, honestly, in the olden days, I would have just showed up and been like, what's up? I'm here. And then Maya would be like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I'd be like, I'm here to pet the animals. I've definitely gotten better. This is improvement. This is improvement. Let's be real, okay? Let's recognize my communication skills are getting better, okay? Anyway, all right. We're in Texas. Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Let's talk about it. What's he up to? What's he gonna do? I do think that it's like kind of odd that people aren't really talking about this as much, it seems. Will civil war occur? I find it really funny that like all of these dudes who love masturbating to the thought of a civil war, you know, like the likes of Tim Pool and stuff, claiming that the left is always trying to do a civil war, and you just straight up have the right-wing governor of Texas unironically trying to do a civil war. Like this is the most real momentum towards that sort of thing ever. Okay.
We go to the southern border where the governor of Texas refuses to give in to federal law. The Supreme Court says federal agents can remove razor wire.
This is just illegal. You've been ignoring it? No, I haven't. I've covered it every day. What are you talking about? I've talked about this pretty much since it started popping off.
Texas National Guard strung along the Rio Grande to try to deter illegal border crossings. But in the border city of Eagle Pass, the state is still keeping Border Patrol agents away from one of those crossing points. Omar Villafranca is there with more. Omar, good morning.
Good morning. We are here at Shelby Park right on the Rio Grande, and the park is surrounded by this razor wire as far as the eye can see. Also within my line of sight, Texas National Guard armed and on standby. Now, the feds say the state put up miles of the razor wire by the river, which can prevent them from getting to migrants in distress. Now, earlier this week, the Supreme Court ruled that Border Patrol agents could cut and remove that wire. But after the ruling, our cameras saw Texas guardsmen uncoiling and preparing more wire to lay out. Another issue is park access. Border Patrol says it doesn't have full access to the park where many migrants illegally cross. State troopers and Texas guardsmen have it closed to federal agents. Now, the Border Patrol says it needs full access to do its job. The Biden administration has ordered the state to allow Border Patrol agents into this area by Friday. But Governor Greg Abbott, he's in fact firing back at the Biden administration, saying the Biden administration is not enforcing immigration laws that are already on the books. And he says if the federal government won't do it, Texas will secure its border. Of course, this is far from over. Both parties will be in court next month. Gail?
Omar, far from over and very complicated. Thank you very much.
Joining us now is the governor of Texas, and great to have you here with us, sir. Can you explain what did you decide was the breaking point for you to take the steps that you did, and maybe also just back up and let people know, what are you saying about the compact?
I love how casual they are about this. Like, you know, here's the governor of Texas who, you know, functionally is a terrorist, okay? Like a cessationist terrorist. Okay. It's like, could you imagine under a Trump administration, you know, let's say Trump wins the election, which, you know, there's a decent likelihood, okay? And let's say he's the admin now, comes back into power, and we got Greg Abbott, sorry. We got gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom going, you know what? It's a free-for-all. We've decided California controls its own borders, and we have decided in our own control of our own borders, okay, that we're just going to have a much looser approach, okay? We're just going to let people in. It's a free trade, free flow situation. Like, how would the Republican Party respond? Do you think that the Republican Party and the Republican federal government, do you think that they would not turn around and immediately send in the National Guard? Okay, it's just ridiculous. Trump would like drone strike It's just ridiculous. Trump would like drone strike the California border. Okay, the notion that they just, God, I hate that Republicans just do whatever they want. And now 15 governors have announced that they support Texas in this border dispute with the federal government, with some sending National Guard units. Okay? It's just, what is happening in this country? We've lost our minds. It's so funny that Republicans can just like play fast and loose with straight up terrorism, cessationism, and I guess like directly trying to do a civil war again. Okay? Like openly try to goad Biden into a civil war. The fact that they are capable of doing this is wild to me. And the sad reality is there's nothing. Like, what's Brandon going to do? What's Brandon going to do? And this is the saddest part about it, I guess, or the most tragic comedy of it all, is that we are trying to do a civil war to Electric Boogaloo over states' rights to drown children in a river with razor wire. Like, we've moved beyond like states' rights to own slaves and into states' rights to do baby murder at the river. It's like, sorry, it's my river. I can kill babies on it with concertina wire if I want to, with booby traps. Great stuff. Great stuff overall. Where is the federal government? Why is the Brandon regime not sending the National Guard? Why has he not overtaken the Texas National Guard? Why is he not sending the military? Why is he not immediately arresting the illegal cessationist Governor Greg Abbott? Wheel his ass to a federal prison pronto. That's what I say. Okay? Oh my God. There's an update. Now, 25 Republican governors have issued a joint statement in support of Texas in its border dispute with federal government. Vermont's governor was the lone exception. That's awesome. We are the worst country on the planet. We're so stupid. America is the dumbest fucking nation on the planet. You will never convince me that this is a smart, sane, sound country. A better punishment for Greg Abbott would be just to blindfold him, wheel him into the middle of a forest, and let him have a serious panic attack when he's surrounded by his mortal enemy, trees. Oh, trees. All right, let's hear what else he has to say.
Between the federal government and the
Isn't this entirely performative from the Republican? Yes, it is entirely performative from the Republicans. But the issue is they shouldn't be able to test the boundaries of the federal government like this and basically win the trial balloon. Do you understand? It's like you can't capitulate. You can't cave to the Republicans on this. You're basically creating this precedent that, Republican states can basically do whatever they want. States' rights, but for Republicans only. Because, like I said, 8+ million illegal immigrants have already crossed, and it's only been 3 years. So what do you suggest? First of all, that number sounds insane. I don't know where you found that from. 8 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border? No, that number is wrong across the board, okay? You are so stupid for thinking 8 million people actually physically cross the border illegally. Why? The current number of undocumented migrants on U.S. soil is around 13 million total, okay? Give or take. 2, the not overwhelming majority, but the majority of border crossers or the majority of undocumented migrants that come into this country are not actually crossing the border physically. They're visa overstayers. It's people that you see at college alongside yourself, okay? It's not people physically crossing the border. So you're wrong. He's actually talking about this, and he's a fucking Nikki Stan. Leave that chatter alone. Have 8 million migrants come to the U.S. under Biden. There's 0% chance this is correct. The 8 million have come in illegally. We have to send them back because you have to look at the fact that every time we allow them, they're incentivizing more to come. During January 8 Fox News town hall, Haley repeated the 8 million figure. Another presidential candidate, Ron DeSantis, cited that number too. Separately, the DHS estimates that about 391,000 people have evaded border authorities in 1 year, which includes about 4 months of the Trump administration. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement removed 142,000 people in the fiscal year of 2023. These removals happened after an official court order and can include people who have been living in the U.S. for years before Biden's administration. The total number of ICE removals under Biden is so far about 245,000. The Biden administration recorded about 2.5 million Title 42 expulsions through May 2023. There have been more than 3.6 million removals, returns, and expulsions from 2021, Biden's first month in office, to September 2023. So the number is not even 8 million. And you're so fucking stupid for thinking that this means they're border crossers. It's actually 3.6 million removals, many of which under Title 42, which means that they are legally entitled to be able to cross over the border and ask for asylum. And this is an illegal and unjustifiable expulsion, a COVID era expulsion opportunity that the Trump administration utilized, given to them by the CDC, okay, that the Biden camp also continued utilizing. And even then, none of this means 8 million people crossed the physical border in the Brandon regime. You are wrong. You are silly, okay? The majority of people that come into this country do not come in over the physical border and cross the physical border. The majority of people that are undocumented migrants in this country are actually visa overstayers, which means many of them are actually coming in with an actual visa and flying into the country. Some examples of visa overstayers include Melania Trump, Elon Musk, and many others. Now, of course, when I say it like that, it seems like I'm making an argument to take away these horrifying undocumented criminals. Okay, I'm not. 21 Savage is a visa overstayer. Hold on, I just gotta. Anyway, womp womp. Move along, Hassan. Wait, what? What do you mean? Anyway, U.S. immigration agents processed more than 200,000 migrants who crossed the southern border unlawfully in September, the highest level recorded in 2022. The Biden admin struggles to contain the mass migration gripping the region, according to preliminary government data obtained by CBS News. Okay? Part of the problem is this is going to get much, much worse. Not that it's actually good or bad, by the way. Right here, buddy. Encounters at the southwest border have increased 40%. Where's the 8 million number? What are you talking about? Do you not understand that when you say 8 million undocumented migrants cross the border physically, you're just wrong. You're not reading the data correctly. You're literally you're wrong. This does not mean, okay, this does not mean 8 million people cross the border illegally. Oh my God. Hello. These encounters are from people that have been living here for God knows for God knows how many years. Okay? I didn't say that. I said total migrants. You did not say that. You said that 8 million illegals crossed the border during the Biden administration. Don't act like you didn't say that. Okay? The majority of people that are coming into this country are still visa overstayers. Why are we debating Chatter's law? Because it doesn't matter. This is an important thing for people to understand. And many people personally don't recognize this, and they hear a big number and they run with it. So if I'm duking it out with a Chatter, I might as well be you duking it out with your parents. I'm sure your parents also bring up these brain dead fucking concepts nonstop. It's an important talking point to address. Another lie that Republicans love telling, for example, very common one, is when people routinely talk about, for example, the amount of money that undocumented immigrants cost the United States of America. Now, if you know anything about undocumented migrants, the major reason for why we have a documented and undocumented migrant process to begin with is so that the agricultural industry and the poultry industry can just take advantage of a two-tier labor structure where they have a permanent underclass that they can abuse and exploit and steal money from, beat the shit out of, and then deport. They used the INS early on. It used to be called the INS, and now ICE as their own personal like team that could just wipe out the entire labor force. And then there's always a steady pool coming in regardless. So that's something to understand, and that's something to consider. Having said that, however, given the current structure that exists with undocumented and documented labor, in the United States of America, and there are studies done on this, plenty of studies actually done on this, undocumented migrants give more into the system than they take out. America doesn't have a robust welfare structure to begin with, and beyond that, even if we did have a robust welfare structure, undocumented migrants do not have the capacity to take advantage of said robust welfare structure, right? Not that it fucking matters. Yeah. There's also the Canadian border as well, for the record. The 8 million number that we're talking about is both of these borders. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's also literally people that are flying in. Okay, so undocumented migrants actually give in to the, like, they genuinely pay more in taxes than they actually take out. The only area where undocumented migrants can actually take advantage, I guess, if you want to say that, or become a burden to the system, is emergency rooms, which are incredibly tiny. It's like 0.009% of all healthcare costs go to undocumented migrants or something. So they give into the system infinitely more than they take. But because that number is so tiny and so minuscule, and it would be really stupid if you were a racist person and you tried to use that as an example and claim that, like, this is the major reason why we have to stop illegal immigration dead in its tracks, you'd look like a fucking silly little fool. Republicans have come up with a very fun way of padding the stats. Okay? The very fun way that Republicans pad the stats is by adding the children of undocumented migrants that were born on U.S. soil to that number overall. That's why there's like this multiple billion dollar number that they use all the time. They'll say, oh, undocumented illegal immigration costs billions and billions of dollars every year to the American government. And it's fucking bullshit. And it's also incredibly racist, because an undocumented migrant having a child on the U.S. soil does not mean that child is not that child should be factored into the undocumented migrant pool and their cost to the American government anyway. That is an American citizen. It does not fucking matter. Okay? It is absolutely ridiculous. Not dreamers. No, I'm not even talking about dreamers. I'm talking about straight up undocumented migrants, like a child born into a family with at least one undocumented parent. Automatically, in these assessments that the Republican think tanks try to put forward, will factor into the overall cost. It's complete fucking bullshit. Okay? Anyway, so the encounters themselves from the Department of Homeland Security, okay, the encounters themselves do not factor in people just like simply crossing the border and getting caught. This is a much more complicated issue than the way people present it. Okay? What do I mean by this? Encounters mean someone that they actually saw crossing the border, or someone that has been inside of the U.S. borders and has been living here as an undocumented migrant, as either a visa overstayer or as someone who physically crossed the border. Okay? What is this? This is the chatter you're looking for? You mistook the other chatter for this one. So to look at this and then present it as though it's like 8 million people crossed the border physically and got caught this year is wrong. Okay? Why do you look so fucking dumb today? I'm trying to look more white and more conservative. That might be the reason. What about the sanctuary cities that have declared they can't take care of more illegal immigrants anymore? I believe what you are referring to is, yeah, doggy, I'm first gen and I don't care about this. I'm not that chatter, Lamau. Okay, regardless, where the fuck were we? All right, so number one, the sanctuary cities that are not able to take care of people, I assume you're using the New York example, okay? You're using the New York example. These border states are massive. They get money from the government, and they have methods of dealing with undocumented migrants and processing them, okay? So instead of processing undocumented migrants who are legally seeking asylum on U.S. soil, it is their right, it is their human right to legally seek asylum on U.S. soil, many of which already even have automatic temporary protected status if they're Venezuelan or Ukrainian, okay? If that is the situation, and you automatically decide, nope, they're criminals, there's a criminal element, doesn't matter, we have to fucking apprehend them, and you treat it as though this is like a serious, severe crime, and then instead of integrating these people, allowing them to get like work visas and whatnot, despite the fact that they are legally allowed to be inside of the U.S. boundaries, the United States boundaries for the duration of their court case as their asylum status is processed, instead of allowing them to live and exist here, okay, and work to make their lives easier, if you treat them like they're fucking criminals and then kidnap them and then send them to other states without even giving the other states prior, without communicating with the other states that they're coming, yeah, you're going to cause a fucking massive hurdle in the process. You're gumming up the works. It is already a difficult process to begin with, okay? I'm not sitting here and saying like, oh, it's super simple. Like we have the capacity automatically and magically to like take care of every single person. It takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of hours and hours. It takes people that are able to, you need translators. You need people to process the court cases. You need people to process the actual asylum claims, right? But instead of doing any of that, you're just shipping them over to New York without telling New York. Yeah, it's going to fucking cause a problem. But the problem is actually not the asylum seekers coming into the country. The problem stems from Governor Greg Abbott literally busing people like they're not real humans, okay? That is what's very, very, very frustrating about this. There is no issue with like sanctuary cities, okay? Notice how you only hear about New York and you don't hear about California having an issue with this process, because California is a fucking border state. Why do people not recognize this? The reason why nobody talks about California having a problem with this is because Texas is not shipping them to California, or even if they are, it's not a genuine problem, okay? Why is it that this becomes an issue for New York or Chicago? Well, it's because New York and Chicago are not equipped. Yeah, not an issue in New Mexico, not an issue in California, all of a sudden issue for Chicago or issue for New York. Well, part of that is because they do not have the processes to deal, they do not have the funding nor the go ahead to be able to take care of all these people coming in. Texas does. That's why it's gross and disgusting that Texas turns around and uses this as like a little political ploy. It uses like these real human beings that are suffering as a pawn. Anyway, as far as would you agree that at least our entire immigration system needs a complete overhaul? Yes, but not in the direction that you think, I think. Our entire immigration system could absolutely deal with a ton of people coming over the border. It's just a matter of whether or not that would be beneficial for our corporate overlords. Because the reality is, if you took in this new pool of labor and actually allowed them to be documented and actually allowed them to work in the American labor pool, okay, all of a sudden you would have a massive issue. There is no lump sum of labor, okay? Yeah, doggy, I'm first and I don't care about this. I'm in New York City. The immigrants are not a problem. Eric Adams being a bald-headed bitch with his lips stuck to the NYPD's asshole is the problem. He spent $150 million on overtime for fare catching, and that yielded $100K in fare saved. He's a bum, and the immigrants are not the problem. Yes, Eric Adams is a reactionary piece of shit and is not able to manage is not able to deal with the issue at all. The issue is being caused by Greg Abbott for sure, but Eric Adams is certainly not doing a good enough job dealing with it. Okay? There are a million different problems with the way that our immigration structure is set up in this country. Okay? And the big reason as to why we have all of these problems is because it is by design. Because we need to ensure that there are undocumented laborers that are constantly coming into this country, so our corporate overlords can use them as a way to depress wages for the documented labor pool, as a way to consistently get cheap labor. That's it. And the reality is other countries do similar things. They take advantage of, like, I don't know, Polish workers, for example, within the EU work structure, workers coming from countries that are not as well off. America does it in the grossest ways possible. Like, many countries take advantage of cheap immigrant labor, but at least they fucking document them. Okay? We are even grosser than that. We're not just like allowing immigrants to operate as like cheap migrant labor, which we used to back in the day, right? We had like seasonal migrant workers and stuff like that for the agricultural industry. We literally don't even do that. It's just like straight up slave shit. It's closer to, the way we operate is closer to, yes, South Asian labor in the Gulf states. Like some of the worst conditions overall. It's really fucked up. A lot of staff agencies around that around me locally, we used illegals during COVID when most people wanted to stay home and overlooked a lot of labor laws to hire them. Once things started to open up, a lot of those illegals let go. Please don't say illegals, bro. Undocumented migrants. All right. That's why it's so gross that farmers LARP as workers. Nah, bro, you own an orchard and drive a tractor around. Sometimes all the people doing the work are the immigrants. Yes. 75% of agriculture and 90% of meat packing is done by immigrants now in the United States. Our entire economy, our entire food production revolves around migrant labor. If we were to shut down illegal immigration, like actually shut it down, if you wanted to actually shut down illegal immigration, here, I'll tell you, this is something I bring up all the time, okay? You would punish the businesses. You would make it so that it's not simply just a slap on the wrist if you get caught with undocumented workers. You actually get criminal charges and might even go to fucking jail. If that was the real goal, you would make it impossible for bosses to hire illegal immigrants. But they don't do that because the current system works for them. The current system exists for that reason. Okay? That's it. That's it. Anyway, don't call it illegal immigration. Call it undocumented persons migration. Okay, whatever. Shut up. You don't have to be that fucking woke, all right? Especially not at the goddamn top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break and I forgot to run it because I'm in Texas and I have a headache and I'm a little slow today. All right? Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. That's why every Republican who's ever promised mass deportations to president has failed to deliver on those promises. It's a nice catchphrase to get racists to vote for you, but it would destroy America. Yes. If you actually wanted to shut down illegal immigration, if you were like that scared of illegal immigration, you would go to the actual source of the problem. Right now, ICE and the way that these agencies operate are simply a way to work at the behest of corporations. Yeah, that's the other thing. Expulsions can be the same person too, okay? They run up those stats pretty high. We've had 8 million immigrants come to the U.S. illegally under Biden, and they only sent back 142,000. There have been 8.1 million encounters with migrants nationwide under Biden, but that number does not represent unique individuals, and not all who were spotted were allowed to stay in the U.S. The 142,000 refers only to ICE removals in the fiscal year 2023, but that is not the only way migrants can be sent out of the U.S. There have been 3.6 million removals, returns, and expulsions under the Biden administration. The data also represents events, not people. You understand? Just think. We have what, a total of something around the line, something along the lines of like 13 million undocumented migrants. You really think 8 million undocumented migrants were caught in this country separately? No. How do you combat the talking point saying immigrants aren't assimilating properly? Well, that's wrong. That's why there is no reason to combat that talking point. It's just false. Okay? This is a nation of immigrants, and by the second generation, no matter where immigrants are coming from, there is already like a lot of assimilation. And by the third generation, that's it. You're just a full-blown American citizen. Okay? Like, and by that I mean your educational outcomes are identical to the average American. Like everything turns into like normal American. Here, I'll give you an example that is like the model minority and kind of racist, because Americans are kind of racist, so they'll understand it a little bit better. Think of the difference between a first generation, fresh off the boat Asian student that you meet in college. And by Asian, I don't mean like, I'm talking model minority Asian, which is, of course, going to be like a relatively wealthy, relatively affluent Chinese family, for example. Okay? That person's aspirations, motivations, anecdotally, the way you think about it, is going to be dramatically different than your friend that you grew up with that is third generation Chinese, okay? Third generation Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, doesn't matter. They're all just as dumb as the rest of the third, fourth generation, wherever the fuck you're from, okay? Does that make sense? Do you understand? Think about how, like, if you have your buddies, like third generation Asian immigrants, okay? Like third generation American Chinese immigrants that you know, or American Korean immigrants that you know, okay? Think about how fucking dumb they are. They're in the chat right now, okay? And it's the same as any other, migrant population. Cultural assimilation, or just assimilation, is complete by the third generation. At that point, you're talking about like someone who came to the country, someone who had a child in this country, and then the child of a child of a child in this country. It's over at that point. You're full blown American. This is gonna get clip chimp so hard. Yeah, I don't care. Everything I say and everything I do is fucking clip chimp. Yeah, explains the Latinos for Trump, third and fourth generation. Well, no. Latinos for Trump, especially if you're looking at a state like Texas, have been in this country for much longer than Donald Trump has, okay? And Donald Trump's lineage has. That's the other side of this conversation too, okay? Like, what do you mean? Texas is a district of Mexico, okay? It's North Mexico. Texans that have been here, Texans of Mexican descent, like Chicano Texans, have been here for infinitely longer than like half of the fucking northeastern whites, okay? Same with even California too. So that's like what's really funny about this conversation, but because they're brown sometimes, you don't see them or perceive them as like people that have been here for much, 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 much longer, okay? There's a reason why you think Donald Trump, whose family's been in here, like his grandpappy is the first person that came to this country, is seen as like an American and not some like random Chicano dude living in Texas for like 8 fucking generations at this point. Who's more American? Anyway, so having said that, another part of the reason why the Chicano population in Texas is so reactionary and identifies, especially the older population, identifies with you know, right-wing policies. I love this idea. Look. This is my favorite, like, supposed own. Dude, immigration is my bread and butter, dog. I'm a fucking anchor baby. This is like obviously an issue that's near and dear to me. Okay? Don't come at me with like tier 1 talking points. You realize even Hispanic migrants are against migrant border crossings. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. 52% of the Customs and Border Patrol are actually Hispanic. Okay? Oh my God, I can't believe it. I know how racist and how xenophobic Hispanics can get. Okay? I know. It doesn't matter. There is no like magic shield here where you got like, oh, well, they're Mexican, they're Chicano, never mind. Oops. I guess they're right then. My bad. It's like talking to me about like black cops or something. That's not going to change the dynamic. Okay? So here's the thing. Why is that the case? Well, that's because, and people get really touchy when I talk about this, but 65% of the Latino population in this country identify as white when given the option of identifying as white or not white. Okay? Hispanics and Latinos have been brought under the banner of white in the last like 3 decades. When you are brought into the banner of white, you vote like a white person. There's a couple different reasons for this, obviously, because like the Latino Hispanic population is obviously far from a monolith. There are certain enclaves, certain cultural enclaves for their own personal ideological reasons and how they immigrated into the United States have very different opinions. Cubans in Miami are very reactionary, very, very historically right-wing for obvious reasons. Venezuelans as well for the same reasons almost, right? But then when you talk about like Texas, when you look at the Chicano population in Texas, that's a little bit different. That's because the Chicano population in Texas have been there for a very long time. Some of them are already identify as white, but more importantly than that, there are the GOP Texas Outreach Program hyper focuses on social conservatism, which appeals a lot to especially the older Chicano population. Okay, that's it. Chicano is a California thing. Okay, well, Tex-Mex then. I don't know how else to mention, you know, Texans of Mexican descent. You can be brown skinned and be considered white. Yes, you absolutely can. And you are. That's how it works. It's because being white is a political designation. It's not like actually the color of your skin in real life. That's why so many people get mad at me and say that I'm an anti-white racist. And it's like normally a laughable notion that should never stick. I'm white as fuck. What do you mean? Right? But the people that get mad at that, don't classify me as a white person. I'm white as fuck. Okay? I'm incredibly white. I'm pale as shit. I mean, especially under this camera. Okay? It has nothing to do with the color of your skin is my point. You're insane if you think he's white. Exactly. Look at his honkers. Yeah, I'm Arab and my only options are white or other. Yes, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Arabs are white too, even though they're fucking not. Anyway, younger Hispanic populations don't, like younger Americans, younger demographics who are in our age group don't identify as white, especially in a community like this, where you're proud of your background, you're proud of your heritage. But the older populations do declare themselves white. Many of them also even look white too. My point is, racial classifications in the U.S. are stupid as fuck. But if you want to understand voting patterns, it's already like really reductive and you're generalizing anyway. But I mean, dude, look at Rafael Cruz, man. Look at Ted Theodore Rafael Cruz. Look at this motherfucker. Look. Wait, oops. The wrong thing. Look at the tab I just closed. This dude's name is Rafael Cruz, okay? Born in Canada. He's white as hell. He's a Canadian Hispanic guy, but he's white as fuck. Anyway, Canadians, we don't claim Rafael. Well, you have to, because he's yours. He's your problem. Anyway, so yeah. Let's take a look at what this fucking demon has to say, though.
Texas today.
So it was the states that created the United States. And when the states voted to create the United States and have a constitution, included in that agreement was the compact that the federal government would take care of the states. And Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution speaks to that and says that if the federal government does not take care of the states, then the states are in danger, we can ask the federal government to live up to its obligation. Then the authors of the Constitution knew there would be times when the federal government would not live up to its duty. And so they empowered states in Article 1, Section 10, the right of self-defense. And what Texas is asserting is our...
We're doing self-defense against the Mexican babies, brother. It's so cool that all of the most powerful nations on the planet with like the biggest militaries on the planet are constantly finding themselves at odds with like the baby murder machine. You know what I mean? It's literally, he's like talking about self-defense against what? Like Mexican children, okay? Guatemalan children. It's so fucking stupid. We are literally, I mean, this is, I don't know, it's a chicken or the egg situation. It's like, is this Israel learning from us? Vice versa? I mean, it is Israel learning from us. Like, this is what like big, powerful nations do. Their biggest enemies are people who are like voluntarily trying to come into the United States to work.
Article 1, Section 10, right of self-defense, because the president of the United States is not fulfilling his duty to enforce the laws passed by Congress that deny illegal entry into the United States.
Governor, will you instruct your officers to physically prevent federal officers from accessing that part of the border?
So what Texas is doing is just very simple. And that is because the Biden administration has really, truly abdicated its responsibility to secure the border and enforce the laws. Texas very simply is securing the border. And so we put up the razor wire that you were talking about, Bill, and we put up all these barricades that actually have denied illegal entry. And as you pointed out also in that screen, that there are criminals coming across our border. Texas has a right as a state to stop criminals from coming into our state, to make arrests of those criminals. And we have National Guard as well as Texas Department of Public Safety officers who are there to make those arrests and to deny illegal entry. And Joe Biden actually does have an option here. Joe Biden's option is to enforce the laws of the United States and stop this illegal entry.
Doesn't look like they're going to do that. Listen to Karine Jean-Pierre. This is what she said about you yesterday.
It's unfortunate that there is a governor in Texas, Governor Abbott, who has politicized this issue of what's happening on the border. And it's not making people's lives safer. It's actually making it harder for law enforcement at the border to do their job.
She just said that this morning. How do you respond?
It's true, by the way. I mean, that's crazy. Why do you think Biden is being such a pussy and not doing anything about this? He could seize control of the National Guard and direct federal agencies to fucking arrest Greg Abbott or something. Well, even beyond that, let's dial it back a second, right? Like, obviously, taking action against like a rogue governor of this magnitude is like creating a genuine constitutional crisis that deserves enforcement of sorts. But even before we get there, The question we should be asking is this: why has the Democratic Party not counter-messaged against immigration in the past 4 years, where the Republican Party was always going to inevitably prime their voting bloc and the entire country against immigration anyway? This isn't new. They do this all the time. What, you think a migrant caravan only pops up every 2 fucking years right before the midterms or right before the general election? No. There's always a steady flow of migrants trying to come into the United States because there's so many people in dire economic circumstances, largely caused by, obviously, capitalism, but also the fact that we are directly intervening in the country's affairs to our south, especially, right? Which is, through many different reasons, like obviously climate change, destroying agricultural production in in South America, and direct political intervention that like causes destabilization and chaos and violence that people are choosing to escape. All these people always want to come to the United States of America. So we know that immigration is going to be a permanent issue. Why are we not correcting the record on immigration? Why has the Democratic Party not brought about the same kinds of talking points against the Trump administration when they're in power? That's the real question you must ask. Okay? And the answer is, it's because they don't want to, because they are still beholden to the same corporate interests that take advantage of the two-tier labor structure that we have, where there's a permanent underclass of undocumented migrants. Some of those people are voting Democrat. Okay? These corporate interests are still way too important. So the Democrats actually are complicit in this, because they take advantage of it. They benefit from the Republicans being like the party of white nativist immigration. And that's precisely the reason why Biden used eminent domain and continued the expansion of the border wall, which was like a symbolic thing to begin with, right? And a waste of money in general. And the Biden administration totally caved on that. And then beyond that, they haven't done anything. They're just like able to, did I say domain expansion? I said eminent domain. Yeah. This part of the process is also disgusting. Freak shit. Wait, here. Yeah, they're also tying immigration. They're tying immigration to funding Ukraine, a spending package for Ukraine and Israel. So they're like, oh, we can't do anything about this. Like, we just have to end up doing more border crackdowns, like more white nativist border crackdowns that the Republicans want. There's no political benefit to it anyway, though. There is no political benefit to this, okay? Oh, shit. I just realized that's unironically good. No funding for Israel. Here, read the first article. It's a quote from a Republican senator. Okay. Senator James Lankford, the Oklahoma Republican and staunch conservative, this week trumpeted the immigration compromise he has been negotiating with the Senate Democrats and White House officials as one shaping up to be by far the most conservative border security bill in decades. We're offering up a fat fucking dub for the Republican Party, which will not actually benefit the Democrats in any meaningful capacity. This is a policy failure because obviously reactionary white nativist immigration policies are harmful and they're not good overall. They're going to hurt a lot of people, okay? But it's also a politics failure. It's a political failure because, as I've said time and time again, any kind of capitulation to the Republican Party on issues that they advocate for does not actually change the political dynamic in the country in the way that Democrats think it does. It doesn't cause right-wing reactionaries to go, you know what, these Democrats, they did right by us. They made the border safer. They're never going to say that, okay? All it does is basically seed ground to the reactionary sentiment that immigrants are actually genuinely a problem for this country, okay? You've just normalized that position for no reason whatsoever. Because you can never, and I repeat this time and time again, but it bears repeating, you cannot outflank the Republicans on racism. Because the real reason as to why we have this kind of border policy to begin with, beyond the material reasons, the reason why people are asking for it, right? The average American wants it, is not because the average American is thinking about it logically. The average American wants border policy for racist reasons. Okay? You can slap on an economic reason onto it, like, oh, the immigrants are stealing our jobs or whatever the fuck, right? And there is truth to that, I guess, as far as like the way that undocumented migrants work and the way that you can fix that. Whoa, what the fuck? Uh-oh. What happened? Why did my camera just fucking die? Oops. Hold on, I gotta try and fix this. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right, we're cooked. All right, let's do this. Hold on, chat. The battery died. Didn't realize that it wasn't charging this whole time. I gotta fix that, obviously. But hold on here. I'll do this real quick. I'll fix it like this. Yeah. Let's see if this works well. Boom. I'm using the laptop camera now, at least for the duration. Anyway, I actually have to go anyway because I have to do a shoot right now. So, regardless of everything else, like the camera being busted, I have to go to a shoot. So, you know, the camera blowing up, the camera dying of battery actually worked out well. Hold on. Let me see. I also have to wake March's bitch ass up, and he's sleeping. Camera overheated and shut down? No. What ended up happening was actually that the camera's battery died. It's like much stupider than that. The camera battery died because I thought I had connected the camera battery to the I thought I had connected the camera battery to a charger, but I guess it wasn't charging. So yeah, it is March's fault. Will you stream tomorrow? Yes. Yes. I will be streaming tomorrow. Rimowa luggage. That is my luggage, yes. I didn't even get to talk about the other stuff that I wanted to talk about, but all right. Anyway, Tatsuya has decent ramen if you want some. It's in downtown Austin. Sure. Will you cover the ICJ decision? Tomorrow I will be live. I know. I will talk about the ICJ decision. How many pairs of shoes you pack? Also, the camera died. It wasn't charging. How long are you here in Texas? Are you going to be on Canoe Stream later? Probably. All right. Go to Desnudo Coffee tomorrow morning. Best coffee in Austin. That's the homies. Sure. Okay. God, I have a massive fucking headache. This sucks. Oh, why is it that traveling always just like messes me up, chat? Why is it? I don't know. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like, it was definitely charging when I left. It was probably just dying faster than the cable charging it. We need a brick for it. I connected it to the Steam Deck charger now, which might work better. Because you don't fly private, stop slumming it with the poors and flex that wealth. Yeah, no, I think flying private is stupid. You should invite JT on stream since you're in Texas. Who the fuck is JT? Justin Timberlake? Go to Salt Lake. It's so crazy. I know. Everybody's got their own. Oh, second thought. Oh, that's actually interesting. Maybe. All right. I'm going to be doing some OTK collabos. All right. God, my head hurts. Didn't get to talk about the Taylor Swift stuff, but anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Well, see you on other people's streams. Be on the lookout. I will post on my social media on like whose channel I'll be on or whatever, right? And you'll get to know from there. I'll let you guys know. All right, anyway, bye everybody. I'll be at the gym later. Peace.
All the chatters trickling in has so people hate. Sunny Los Angeles, California says her song. The starlight to the starlight to the topic just begun. There he is again, her sun is streaming. Stunning lo-fi introduction, starting out the day. All the chatters trickling in has so